Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Viper 6 alert days in effect for severe thunderstorms and also some dangerous heat. Details in your Viper 6 forecast coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, in these very hot temperatures, you may experience some type of illness. Is it heat exhaustion or a heat stroke?
Plus, a new solar farm being built in Burke County. But it's not only conserving energy, it's providing jobs.
And great news from Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree about the recovery of one of his deputies injured in a shootout. We'll hear from him as your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to begin right off the top by checking in with meteorologist Miller Hyatt.
Your Viper 6 forecast coming right up.
All right, Miller, we do thank you for that. Heat-related illnesses are on the rise, and that's something we all need to be aware of and do what we can to stay well. Graham Lee spoke to a doctor today about two illnesses that are very common this time of year. He joins us now live.
Yeah, Jenny, I did speak to a doctor here at the doctor's hospital earlier, and we're talking today about heat exhaustion and heat stroke. They both are different, and they can sometimes be confused, but doctors do say they are in fact different. They tell me heat exhaustion is when your body loses an excessive amount of water and salts, and the internal body temperature is between 101 and 103 degrees, just super hot. But heat stroke is when your body temperature rises above 104 degrees, even hotter, and it shuts down your body and it keeps it from performing certain functions. Both are serious, and a doctor and I spoke with and saying anyone can be a victim.
This can happen from infants to the elderly, everybody in between. And you think it might not happen to you, but that's exactly when it might happen. Take precautions, every single time.
Now, Dr. Pettiford tells me the best precautions you can take are wearing light clothing, getting out of the heat and in some air conditioning if you are working and taking breaks, wearing sunscreen, and once again, it goes back to drinking cool fluids. I've talked to coaches before as an athlete, and they said over and over to their athletes, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Live in Augusta, Graham Lee, WJBF, News Channel 6. Jenny?
All right, Graham, thank you very much. While melanoma is not common in men with darker skin, local doctors still urge you to use protective measures. The Journal of American Academy of Dermatology says most African American men who are diagnosed with melanoma face a low survival rate. That's why they recommend using things to protect your skin from UV rays, like tinted sunscreens for skin of color. Local dermatologists say if you've been diagnosed, there are ways to a simple step-by-step recovery.
But when it's caught early, essentially after the biopsy, you of course go home with just a bandage. We call you back with the results, and if it's not too deep, you just come in one day. I do a 10-minute procedure where I remove the cancer, send you home with stitches for a couple of weeks, and then that's it. Of course, if it's more progressed, then it's a little bit more long drawn out.
A list of tinted sunscreen that could be good for skin of color can be found on our website, WJBF.com.
5 McCormick County officers now indicted in a suspected contraband smuggling ring. The Attorney General making that announcement today. Brittany Pixley, Judy Mather, Shaquela Morgan, Dion Gaines, and George Leverett, all accused of helping inmates get access to cell phones and marijuana. They're charged with corruption of office. If convicted, they each face up to 20 years in prison. And in a separate case, officers Jada James and Shirley Craig Hart are charged with sexual misconduct. According to the Inspector General, both had inappropriate relationships with inmates in the McCormick County Jail. Craig Hart got fired. James resigned before charges were filed. There is good news coming from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office today. Sheriff Richard Roundtree came to News Channel 6 this morning for an appearance on the Means Report. He told us that Deputy Ken Mercer has been released from the hospital. You'll remember Deputy Mercer was injured in a shootout in downtown Augusta back on July 8th.
He's home.
Thank goodness.
got to be a very irritable patient toward the end, which showed his toughness and his tenacity. Especially coming a week out of such a horrific injury, and the community reached out and thoughts and prayers, and every one of them, I think it really made a difference. Unfortunately, the incident resulted in a loss of life, but fortunately, it wasn't one of the heroes of this community.
Well, that is great news about Deputy Mercer. Be sure to watch our full interview with Sheriff Richard Roundtree. The Means Report airs Monday afternoon at 12:30 right here on News Channel 6. Shepherd Blood Center hosting a blood drive for Deputy Mercer. It's going to be tomorrow at the Augusta Municipal Building, 10 in the morning till 5 p.m. If you can't make it, you can just visit any Shepherd location and ask for your donation to be credited to Deputy Mercer's account. Emergency personnel holding an active shooter drill at a school in Thompson. If you heard any loud noises that sounded like gunfire and you saw extra police presence, no need to be alarmed. The training started this morning and was expected to last for a good chunk of the day.
Amazon announces 3 new solar farms in Georgia. One of the farms will be in Burke County. Tiffany Hobbs tells us what this means for the area.
Amazon's newest solar projects will open in Wheeler, Oglethorpe, and Burke counties, bringing them a new local resource for clean energy. Amazon currently has 30 renewable energy projects across the southeast. The company tells us the new solar farm will also bring economic development and green job skills to Burke County. Waynesboro City Councilman and blueberry farmer Dick Vine says he believes this will be good for the economy.
We have so much energy, solar energy, that we're not using. It's just being, it just comes to earth, and we're not using it. And I think we ought to use anything we can get our hands on. It's free. I mean, it's not stupid. It's no pollution. I don't think you don't have to be an environmentalist to see that it's no pollution, and that helps. So I just see big opportunities for solar power.
Amazon tells us that once all 8 projects are running in Georgia, it will bring enough energy to power more than 123,000 homes per year. In Burke County, I'm Tiffany Hobbs, WJBF, News Channel 6.
The beginning of the downtown Augusta streetscape project has some crying foul. Tree crews are in the process of taking down what will be dozens of trees for the massive street renovation project. This has the chairman of the Augusta Tree Commission saying the city should be working to protect the trees, not cut them down.
You can't name another city who is doing this kind of thing this city. Not Savannah, not Charleston, not Columbia, not Greenville, not Atlanta. But Augusta, the Garden City, is out here destroying trees just as fast as they can.
City engineers say they are following the lead of landscape architects when removing the trees from the right-of-way. Adding, the project calls for new trees to be planted to replace those that are being taken down. A year after the city of Aiken received a grant for renovations at the Smith Hazel Recreation Center, some argue the renovations fell short of expectations. Here's Aiken Bureau Chief Sean Cabbage-Stock.
Some people are expressing concerns about the basketball court floors, mentioning noticeable hollow spots.
And I can't understand how they were thinking of not including the flooring in the first phase of ADA renovations.
In 2022, all doors, entrances, and restrooms at Smith Hazel Recreation Center were renovated to make them accessible to everyone. The HVAC system was also upgraded, but there are concerns about the condition of the gym floors. City leaders say the gym wasn't a part of the scope of the renovations provided by funding. We learned staff walked the floor with a civil engineer. They reported no hazards.
But we do have flooring contractors scheduled to come later in the month to look at the floor to see if there's a solution for those hollow sounding spots that I think the public have identified.
Meanwhile, city leaders won't know if repairs or replacements are needed until this fall. In Aiken, I'm Aiken Bureau Chief Sean Cabbage-Stock, WJBF News Channel 6.
Still ahead, it started as a joke, but now it is a serious publishing venture.
A student at AU making a splash in the world of children's books and helping kids stay healthy. That story for you after the break.
Next ET.
Like a dream come true.
Jamie Lynn Spears' Zoe returned 15 years later, acting alongside her 2 daughters.
It was like a really proud moment for me as a mom.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7:30 on News Channel 6. A Georgia man left home.
Welcome back, everybody. A rising junior at Augusta University getting a lot of attention for a series of children's books that he wrote.
News Channel 6's Brandon Dawson has the story.
Vikash Ayyapan is a cell and molecular biology major at Augusta University, and during his time at school, he picked up an interesting hobby.
I wrote 3 children's books, and it all started as a joke between me and my friends. When I came down here, one of my friends was like, you should read a book this semester, and I was like, you know what, I'll do you one better, and I'll write a book.
Vikash followed through and wrote his first book, Dr. Doodle's Big Health Quest.
This talks about how to stay safe, disease prevention, so proper techniques of hygiene, wearing masks, coughing with your arm, topics that kids will like to learn about in their future.
His other 2 books cover topics that are relevant in today's world, including mental health and nutrition. When he started showing the books to friends and family, Vikash got some positive feedback.
I sent it out to them. I told them to read it, let me know their thoughts, and they absolutely loved it. And after doing an article with the Jaguar, got lots of great promotion. People across the AU campuses, Augusta, even my friends from outside of the area, they were all commenting about how such a great initiative I've taken. Lots of positivity, and I'm really happy about it.
Vikash would love to write more books, but right now he plans to focus on school. He hopes that his books not only help kids, but adults as well. The profits from the books will also be going to a good cause.
The profits from the books are going towards the Children's Hospital of Georgia as well. I've done research with them, I volunteered with them, I shepherd doctors there.
The Dr. Doodle books are available now, so if you're looking for an educational read for your child and want to help a good cause, then these books may be right up your alley.
They're available on Amazon and Kindle. You can just search up Dr. Doodle's Big Health Quest. All 3 of them will pop up. You can also search in my name, and they pop up there as well.
Brandon Dawson, WJBF News Channel 6.
Miller High is keeping track of the rising temps and the storm chances.
He has your forecast as this Viper 6 alert day continues in a moment.
I'm Attorney G.
All right, Miller, thanks. Coming up, one chill cheetah.
What the cat does in its downtime when we come back.
It's bow time.
A cheetah at the Cincinnati Zoo is recharging after all that running. Did you know cheetahs have special claws that act like running spikes to increase traction when they chase prey, so they're definitely built for speed?
But the one thing they can't do, like other big cats, is roar. Cheetahs actually purr and growl.
So pretty. More coverage you can count on coming up next on News Channel 6 at 4:30. How about a code of conduct for the highest court in the land?
A look at the push for some new ethics rules